Welcome to another episode of the Erectile Dysfunction Radio podcast. I am the host, Mark Goldberg, and I will be doing a solo podcast today. There's an important topic that I have been looking forward to discussing, and that is the importance of developing a growth mindset when it comes to addressing issues like erectile dysfunction. So the first thing I want to do is talk about a growth mindset, as opposed to what's called a fixed mindset. So a growth mindset is one in which when a person is faced with adversity, is experiencing a challenge, the way they respond to that is not to become deflated, not to feel like things are out of their control, and to really fall into more of a depressive mourning type of state. But rather, a growth mindset looks at adversity as an opportunity, looks at adversity as something that a person can learn from, develop a new skill set, can look at an aspect of their life from a new angle. And I don't want to give the impression that a growth mindset means that you are happy-go-lucky about everything that goes wrong in your life. I think a good example of a growth mindset pertains to how people responded or reacted to the COVID-19 pandemic. Some people, really, shut down and had a very, very hard time just grappling with all the rapid changes happening to our world. And other people, applied a growth mindset to how they were going to approach that by pivoting as quickly as they could to grapple with both the new challenges, but also the new opportunities that are presented. Okay, erectile dysfunction is one of these conditions or one of these situations that many men are going to face that is devastating. I wouldn't quite compare it to a global pandemic, but it is quite a devastating experience. Now, when somebody has that fixed mindset, they are much more prone to feeling stuck, to feeling broken. They're going to experience a lot of self-criticism, avoidance, feelings of inadequacy. And I think people who have that fixed mindset that there's nothing they can do, things just don't work the same way that they used to, these people are way more prone towards like the negative cycles of anxiety and stress. And these cycles really compound the erectile dysfunction worry loop. Now, when it comes to a growth mindset, a person who approaches erectile dysfunction or the challenge of erection issues with a growth mindset, that's going to look a little bit different. So if somebody looks at their experience of ED and says, hey, circumstances have changed, perhaps I'm aging, perhaps I'm stressed, perhaps something's going on in my relationship, but this is a condition that can be addressed and can be improved over time. Very often the initial catalyst is the initial experience of erectile dysfunction is very startling, and it can be a catalyst to further experiences of erectile dysfunction. But when somebody has that growth mindset and says, hey, this is a new opportunity to re-examine my relationship with my sexuality, to look at the factors that were contributing to, good, solid, healthy erections previously, and maybe pay a little bit more attention to that. People who are looking for those opportunities to just learn and adapt and are seeking solutions are already going to be on a road that is much more bent towards being able to get ahead of, tackle, and better manage erection issues. Another big part of a growth mindset is like curious and openness. And one of the areas I think about when I sit with people and talk about these challenges is I think about people's sexual scripts. One of the areas that I find that men struggle with is the idea that they may have to change the way things have been done for a while. They're worried about the impact on their partners. It's not just a selfish thing. Like they really are thoughtful about it. And the men who are in more of that fixed mindset really struggle to work towards a solution in ways that men who have this growth mindset are really able to move toward a solution at a much quicker pace. There's a lot of other benefits to a growth mindset. I think that men who look at this as an opportunity and they want to come to talk to a therapist, they want to go ahead and do something about this. There tends to be less shame. They feel less of a stigma around this, and they see themselves in a context of like self-compassion. They see themselves as having a human experience, and again, look at this as an opportunity for growth. That growth mentality also it really promotes looking for solutions, being proactive, and that makes a big difference in this process. If somebody has that fixed mindset and things are just not working the same that they used to, they're almost giving up. So that growth mindset really also fuels people to look for a solution, to believe that this is an opportunity for growth, that there is a way forward. And as much as it may seem like happy talk, it really makes a significant difference. I see it in the therapy process, but it makes a significant difference even if this is something you are trying to address or tackle on your own. So how does one go about developing a growth mindset, in particular around a challenge like erectile dysfunction? Okay, so the first part, the first step, I think, in all of this is an acknowledgement and acceptance that like there is a challenge here. And it's a challenge that many men are going to face, and it's not anybody's fault. Like things happen. This is a common enough condition that there's no reason to fall into a pattern of self-blame. Applying that growth mindset means opening yourself up to ideas that perhaps you have not considered previously. Educate yourself, learn about your physical body, learn about the psychological causes, learn about how relationships impact the mind, impact the emotions. Okay? Growth mindset also means that you realize that you are now on somewhat of a journey. Sometimes it's a multi-step journey. Sometimes it's only a few steps, but being able to set realistic expectations for yourself to try to grow step by step. People who have that fixed mentality oftentimes are in that all or nothing mentality, which makes addressing conditions like erectile dysfunction all the more difficult. So as part of like developing that growth mindset, like realizing that you are now on a journey and it's going to take step by step to really be able to move things forward. People with that growth mindset also are more likely to seek professional help, to reach out to somebody like myself or other professionals, even on the medical side, and really try to seek out that solution. So if anybody out there is grappling with just like the shame and the stigma and beating themselves up and how did I get here, this is like a great opportunity to at least give this a try. At least try to take on for yourself, developing a more of a growth mindset. And again, it's not all or nothing. We can hold two things at the same time. You can be devastated, you could be upset, you can feel like it isn't going to get better, and just open up a little bit of space in your mind. Just open up a little bit of space for that idea slowly that like perhaps this is an opportunity. Perhaps there's a way forward, and I have to be maybe a little bit, slower in terms of my expectation of results, but I have to take the proper steps to get myself back on track. I have seen men do this over and over and over again. And I think if more people are willing to invest just a little bit more time, effort, and energy into getting onto that growth mindset track, you will definitely be on your way to resolving erectile dysfunction.